Hello guys, and welcome to another video. This video is going to be a different video because this is going to be a book review as well as a movie review. So I saw the Host movie yesterday. It was absolutely fantastic and amazing, and just the art, the feels and everything. I loved it so much. And you know, it was about a 2-hour film, so it didn't really drag on and everything, and I was just hooked onto it. And then before I knew it, the film had ended. I was crying nearly towards the end. That's just what movies and TV shows do to me when they pull at my heartstrings, but I just loved it so much. I gave the movie 5 out of 5 stars, and it's just amazing. And the book, you know, it's quite a big book. This book has 617 pages, so it's quite a hefty book. It took me a while to finish it, but you know, I still really love the book. The first 200 or so pages of the book, I was a little bit confused. It was a bit slow. I wasn't really, you know, hooking onto it. And then after that, bam, all of a sudden, everything just happened. I really liked it, and I was just liking all the characters and everything that was going on. And I just ended up really loving the book, and then completely forgetting about the first 200 pages. I just suddenly sort of understood everything. So I also gave the book 5 out of 5 stars because I just loved it so much. And I know that I'm going to read this book again. I've read the Twilight series from this author because it's by Stephenie Meyer, and yeah, I love the Twilight series as well, so I had a feeling I was going to like this book just as much because I just love the author. So let's talk about the storyline. So basically it's about aliens pretty much taking over the planets, and we have Earth here. But the thing is, these aliens, they aren't evil aliens, they're like good aliens because they just want to right the wrongs of humans. They want to just take over them so that they could make the world a more harmonious place so they can all coexist and stuff. So they think that the humans are the ones that are destructing the earth. That's why these aliens want to take over, to make it a better place to live in. So there are very few humans left. Basically these aliens, these seekers and healers and whatever, they are hunting these humans so they could obviously take them over, so eventually all the seekers and whatnot will be taking over everywhere. So there are very few humans left, and you start the story with Wanda, or Wanderer for long, and she is the soul that resides within the human, which is Melanie. But Melanie's soul is still strong there, so her soul still does exist, but she cannot control her body. She can talk to Wanda. So I think that their relationship was just absolutely amazing. Just how it started from the beginning to like they were like enemies, you know, they didn't want to talk to each other or whatever, to the end when they sort of say they're like sisters sort of thing. And that's kind of like what really upset me. It's kind of making me nearly teary now, but like, because it's just so emotional, just how they developed, really. I just loved that so much. Those two just were such a great team. So basically Wanda is then told that she has to look into the memories of Melanie to find out where the other humans are, and as she digs in, you know, Melanie sort of tells her, don't, because it's my little brother, you know, it's my love of my life, please don't, you know, they will kill them and whatnot. So then Wanda decides to keep a little bit of hidden information, and then one night she decides to escape and run off to this place because she sees a map in her head, and it's like in a desert somewhere, and then they end up going there, but they just wander too far and they find that they're really exhausted. And then the uncle of Melanie ends up finding them, gives them water, and he ends up looking after them. He says that they're the guest, but obviously the other humans, because they know that there is a seeker soul inside Melanie, they think that Melanie is dead, she doesn't exist anymore, so they just don't want to know her. They think that, you know, they think that Wanderer is the enemy, so they just don't want anything to do with him. They'd rather, you know, it be dead sort of thing. But, you know, the Uncle Jeb, he's just like, no, she's the guest, do not lay a hand on them. If you lay a hand on them, you'll be dead sort of thing, because he believes that Melanie is still inside there, and which is true, she is still existing. And then it's just lovely how Wanderer is then led into this human life. She learns all about these people, she makes friends and relationships, and it's just really beautiful just how they all eventually start liking Wanderer, like as a person, you know, they just start treating her as a human, and they just then find out that she actually has a really great soul, and she's just amazing. Like, I love her so much. She just has the purest soul ever. She would help anyone before she helps herself, sort of thing. So that's great. And because she obviously has the body of Melanie, she has the same feelings. So she has the same feelings towards the brother Jamie and also towards the love interest Jared. But you know, she does still have her sort of feelings for herself. It's just because her body has the feelings towards them. So she ends up developing a relationship between Ian, and at the beginning Ian, he just kind of wants to kill her, and then he ends up slowly falling in love with her, and she ends up falling in love back. And that's just really beautiful, just how, you know, a human and a sea cat alien just fall in love. It's just absolutely beautiful. All the relationships absolutely fantastic and amazing and beautiful, and I just loved it so much. And like just how it ended, like how it ends, like the aliens and the humans can really exist together, sort of thing, harmoniously, and it's just awesome. And I really do want there to be a sequel to this book, because I just loved it so much. It just proves to you that, like, you know, people are different, you know, people can change, you know, the rich and the poor. Like, if you look down on the poor, you know, they'll be really good people, you know what I mean? Whereas you look up at the rich, you know, you think they're all going to be snobby. You don't always get snobby people, so that's just kind of what it's like. So sort of like saying believe more in the personality, and I love things like that, like believing more into personality things. So it's a really beautiful story of aliens and humans and friendship and just the bonds and everything that are made, and I just absolutely love this book so much. I love the film so much, just both of them so much. The Host film is definitely one of my favourite films so far this year. I love it. I would easily watch it like 5 times. In fact, I'd probably watch it every day of the week and would not get bored. I'd love it like that much. But this book, it took me a while to read, so I will probably give it a breather until I read it again, because it did take such a long time. Because it's easier to watch a film rather than to read a book. So, you know, I will definitely read this book again, though, in the near future. You know, whether it be this year or next year, who knows. I always read the Twilight books at least once a year, same with the Harry Potter books, so I will probably end up reading this once a year just as well. So this book has now become one of my favourites. I have not read it before. I've had this book a while in my TBR pile, but I've never got around to reading it because it is such a big book. But I'm so glad that I finally did get around to reading it. The main reason I did get around to reading it was because the movie was coming out, and I'm just in love with the storyline and everything and the characters and just that. It's really weird because I didn't finish the book before the movie. I had literally 50 pages left before, you know, the end of the book, so I didn't have enough time to finish the book just before the movie, so I didn't know exactly what was going to happen at the end. So I think if I didn't read the end, who knows what would have happened. You know, I ended up crying because I didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, oh my god, is Wanda going to like sacrifice herself or whatever? What's going to happen? What I loved about the movie is that I kept a lot of the main aspects of the book, like a lot of the main events, and a lot of the dialogue was kept into the film. So I really enjoyed that. I recognised it, you know, when I was watching. I was like, oh yeah, I remember reading that bit, you know. But there are some bits that weren't in the book, like somewhere near towards the end, there wasn't bits in there. And for example, I remember in the book they were playing football, and that wasn't in the film, so you know, that would have been nice to have it in the film, I would have thought, because it was just a nice bit where they're all happy playing sports and whatnot. But you know, still like the film regardless. But the thing with the film is it helps you sort of vision what things would look like. For example, the soul. In the film, like, you see what the soul looks like, this white thing with loads of antennae, and it's in the palm of your hand, and it just looks really beautiful and cute and everything. And I never would have visioned it like that. I wouldn't even know what the hell a soul would look like. So it really sort of helps you picture it, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it could actually look like that. So I didn't manage to finish the book before I watched the film. I had about 50 or so pages left in the book, but you know, I think that kind of made it a bit better because I didn't read what happened at the end. I kind of wanted to see what happened at the end of the movie, so I might do that in future now, just like not completely read the end and just leave it to the unknown, because I think if I know what happened at the end in the film, I just be like, yeah, I know what happens. But because I didn't know what was going to happen at the end, I was like, oh my god, Wanda's actually going to sacrifice herself, this is getting really emotional, and I just started crying. And then like all of a sudden, you know, obviously goodness happened and everything, and I was like, oh my god, what a relief. You know, I think if I read about that, like what would happen, you know, I would know what to expect in the movie, and I probably wouldn't have cried as much. I probably still would, because it was really acted really well, and the music and everything just sort of like puts it together and whatever. But yeah, so in general, I absolutely loved both the book and the film. If you haven't seen the film already, go see it if you can, if it's still in your theatres, because it's nearly about to run out in my theatre. There was only one showing yesterday. And yeah, read the book if you haven't done already, because they both are pretty much similar. Obviously there's some bits that are in the there are some bits that are in the book that aren't in the film, so that's why I always read the book first before watching the film, because there's bits that they always miss out, and I like to read the bits in the book because sometimes the bits in the book can be quite important. But the thing is, the movie did keep a lot of important things from the book that was in the movie, and they made it really a lot better. So absolutely beautiful story, characters, everything amazing. Thank you so much, Stephenie Meyer, for writing such an awesome book. Thanks guys for you watching this book and movie review. I hope you're all having a fantastic day and a fantastic week, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.